also had a great educational session yesterday afternoon, and we call it our Thought Interaction Pods. Ted's kind enough to host one of those programs for us and had, as you would imagine, an immensely popular topic right now that really just seems to be top of mind for everybody in the industry. It's around sustainability, and wanted to begin by just asking you what is driving this, who's driving this emphasis in creating sustainable products in the marketplace.
So Scott, I appreciate ECRM giving myself and SO ProPack the opportunity to host the sustainability session. I got to tell you, it over exceeded our expectations. We were going to limit it to 10 people, and I think we had 18 folks there. So definitely a hot topic and something that's very important to our industry. In terms of who's driving it, I think it's coming from several levels. The millennials, are clearly, it's important for them in terms of the products that they buy in the marketplace today. They're very conscious of the environment and how can we sustain and continue to protect our environment. But it's also coming from a lot of the manufacturers. You see a lot of the global manufacturers that are really drawing a line in the sand and making commitments to become fully either recyclable or fully using material that is more market friendly, environment friendly in the years to come.
That's got to be fairly expensive. It's got to be more expensive than traditional packaging. So who's paying for this added cost?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think that's been a challenge over the past years. A lot of folks want to talk about sustainability, but when it puts, you put your money where your mouth is, there's been challenges because nobody wants to see higher costs. But the reality of the matter is that there are higher costs when you're dealing with whether it's post-consumer regrind or you're looking at materials such as at SO ProPack. We have a product now that is Code 2 completely recyclable, but there's a lot of investment that goes into that. There's a lot of cost that's associated with being able to provide those types of materials. I think the cost is getting more manageable as you develop critical mass and you have a larger market in the area of sustainability. But I think the cost is going to have to be shared across the board because it's the right thing to do and it's the important thing to do for our environment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly something that we feel good about doing. What do you see the direction of this? Where do you see it going in the future?
Yeah, great question also. I think that it's got traction now. I think we're going to see momentum going forward in the years to come. I know a lot of packaging manufacturers are looking to more sustainable, more environmental friendly product. There's been a knock on plastics. You've probably seen a lot relative to the airports with plastic bottles. Now they're moving back to glass or aluminum. But I think as long as we can look at downsizing, we have a new product that's actually going to have sugarcane in it. So it's a renewable energy source in our world, in our environment. So sustainability is not going to go away. It's going to become more and more important as we move forward, as we evaluate our packaging and what can we do to be more environment conscious. Also pertaining to your question about what's the future look like and how can we continue to support sustainability, I think one of the challenges or opportunities that we have is how do we educate the consumer? How do we align municipalities, the different government systems? How do we align the manufacturers and the whole recyclable stream? That's the big challenge because it's a behavior change, it's education. The consumers need to know, for example, with our tubes, that it is recyclable, but they need to know how do you do it? What's the procedure? What's the process? What's the outcome and what's the benefit? But it's definitely here to stay. I think that we need to continue to promote not only the benefits, but also promote the means and the methods and how to move forward. So it starts with the consumers, all the way up through manufacturers, all the way up through the municipalities, the politicians, the governments, the state level, and at the federal level.